Hey there, welcome back to Course Creator Handbook. Today we are going to do part 2 of the video on how you can use Manychat to grow your subscriber list, to use it as a tool where you can deliver a course straight to someone's messenger inbox. And we're going to set that up today using growth tools, which is right here. So if you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a link somewhere up on one of these sides of the video, and you can take a look at part 1, come back to this, and let's get started. So yesterday, or not yesterday, in the previous video, we discussed how to set it up, how to create an automation sequence, how to use keywords, and that was all right here. What be your default reply, your welcome message. So today we're going to go into growth tools, and I'll show you how you can put that growth tool on your website. We had used Thinkific for an example, and today I'm actually going to show you how to use this on a WordPress site. So let me show you first in Incognito. Anytime I'm doing testing, whether it's through Thinkific, Teachable, any of your schools or your WordPress site, I like to do it on the incognito mode so that I don't have to refresh the browser or delete my cookies, and it recognizes that this is a new session. So just a little trick you can use. So let's go to my site and take a look. So this is the WordPress site, and I have a growth tool here for the top slider bar that comes in at a certain time. I think I have it set to 80% of the, so once a user scrolls about 80% of the page, this growth tool will show up, which will ask users to subscribe to the Facebook Messenger. So this is the landing page. I built this in WordPress. I'm using Thrive themes to do it, in case you're wondering. And then once a user hits about, or a visitor I should say, hits about this stage right here, there's that top bar. I also have an exit intent pop-up here, so let's get rid of that. So here's the top bar. It shows you don't want to receive daily lessons straight to your messenger. If I click the send to messenger button, since I'm in incognito, if your visitor will probably already be logged into Facebook Messenger. If not, then they'll get the prompt to log in and get the course delivered, or whatever it is that you're asking them to do right on Facebook Messenger. So that's what it looks like, and let's go ahead and create this same thing, and we will install this on a fresh WordPress site so that you can see it from start to finish how it's done. So I'm back in Manychat. If you haven't yet done it, just go to manychat.com. You can get a free account, and most of these tools are included in the free account. I am on the pro account right now because I needed more than 2 sequences, and I also wanted to remove the Manychat branding. If you are okay with that, then continue to use the free account. So here we're going to go to growth tools, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say I want a new growth tool. Now before I even get into it, just to show you, the growth tool shows you what the name is. So this one says top bar, as we saw it kind of slid in from the top, and then it shows you right away how many impressions, how many opt-ins, what was the conversion rate, and how many people opened the message. So because this is Facebook Messenger, you're going to see right now ManyChat or any other chatbots are kind of in the infancy stage. Open rates are through the roof right now. People are getting about 80, 90, 100% open rates, which is awesome, because with emails you have what, like 10, 15% open rates. So this is great. uh, and I would suggest you ride this wave as long as you can before people kind of again learn to mute this out and another tool will come on and we'll all jump on board. So I'm jumping on board this ship right now because it's hot, it's fresh, and it's converting. So let me click on a new growth tool, and once I click here you'll see all the growth tools you can use. And the pro account also lets you do Facebook ads and Facebook comments. Now we won't get too much into it because I think most people are going to go to the free account, but what these two things let you do are they let you, so this first one, Facebook ads JSON, It lets you send a Facebook ad action straight to Messenger. Someone sees your Facebook ad, they click on it, it opens right in Messenger, and at that point, you can get people into your sequence and start interacting with them. Facebook comments is awesome. Anytime someone comments under your ad, they also get added to your subscriber list. As you can see here, Facebook Comments Growth Tool allows you to convert users who comment on a specific post into bot subscribers. So what that specific post is, if you have an ad running, people start commenting on that ad. I believe it's only the first level commenters. So let's say someone comments on your ad, somebody else replies to it, then someone else replies to it. So that threading doesn't work. It's only the first level of comments that get added, automatically added to your bot, which is awesome. So what I already have on my website is the top bar, and let's go ahead and try the page takeover bar. So this would be like an overlay on top of your landing page. As soon as someone comes in, it'll take over the page as the name suggests, and then they'll be able to X out or take that action that you want them to take. I will cover other growth tools as well, so I'll have a separate video for landing pages and a separate one for Facebook ads, because I am going to test that out and see how it works and how it converts. But for today, we are going to stick to the top part here, which is the overlay widgets, which is these are the ones I think people will use the most. So let's try this page takeover and see how it works. So once you have selected your growth tool, let's name it to page takeover. I'm actually going to install this on a different website of mine. It's called the Wedding Planner TWP, and because I don't want to mess with my live website right now. And then, so here are the next steps. It's asking you what's the initial state of, when someone sees this, what will it look like? What's the submitted state, which is once they have taken the action you want them to take, what would the next page looks like, and then the opt-in actions and setup. So let's go step by step. Initial state, show description. Yes, we want to show description so that you can tell a little more about what you want your users to take that action. So let's write this. Get your course delivered straight to, if I can spell, to FB Messenger. And then in the bottom copy here, I'll write receive daily lessons at your convenience straight to your inbox. And then the send to messenger button, you cannot change the text on it. That's just something that is a limitation right now. I don't know if it's something required by Facebook or it's just a limitation, but I don't think it matters, because I would like my users to know that this is going straight to the Facebook Messenger. So now you can mess with the background if you want. I kind of liked the white it was. And then you can also mess with the headline color, so I would like it to be blue, and then the description I want it to be black. There you go. And then the button background can, again, there's some limitations. You can either have it blue or white, and we're gonna have it blue. And then also the button size, you can have small, medium, or large. Right now it's set to large. I want to leave it at that. And then finally you can upload an image. So let's do that. Let's see if I can upload this image. Let's do this one. And that image goes right on top of your headline. And then you can change the placement of that image if you'd like. You can put it below description, you can put it above the description, so between the headline and description. I kind of like it like this, so I'm going to leave it. And then the next step is when do you want this to display. So this could be, because this is a page takeover widget, we want it to be displayed immediately. You do have the option to do it during exit intent, right? If someone's trying to leave your page, but that might not work on It actually won't work on cell phones, only on desktop browsers, because on cell phones there's no way to know when someone's trying to exit the page. You can do percentage scroll. I like this because regardless of desktop or mobile, as soon as they've reached that set percentage, let's say I say show this when someone's reached 30% of your page, then it'll show at that time. When scrolling to an element with target ID, I haven't played with this yet, so I'm not going to discuss this. Once I have more information on this, will definitely show you guys another video. And then seconds have passed, which is how many seconds after they have landed to your page do you want this action to happen. I'm actually going to go back to immediately. And then the next step is show widget to the same user again. So someone comes to your site, they saw this widget, and then they didn't take the action you want them to take. How often do you want Manychat to keep showing it to the same user? I'm going to change this to always, because what they say in the internet marketing world that I've heard is it's not no, it's no right now. So if someone says no to you, it's probably just no right now, and I'm sure they'll come around. And if it gets too annoying, maybe they won't visit my site. Either ways, that's just my philosophy. I'm sure you have your own that you subscribe to. And then if manually closed by a user, when should Manychat show this message? I'd say if someone has manually closed it, maybe we can wait a day and then let them see it again. So that's the first page. First part is done. It was super easy. You put your description, you put your your headline, your description, an image if you have, and then send to messenger button, and that's it. You're done. And then pick, obviously, when do you want this to show up. So now we hit the next button. Now the next step where it says submitted state is what the user has done. They have taken that action, they have clicked the send to messenger button, and on the next step we're literally confirming that, so to say. It's almost like a two-step opt-in process where they have taken the first step. Now in the second step you're confirming the action that they have chosen to take. So on this step you can either redirect them to a new URL or show a new message, and we are showing a new message in this case. So what's that new message? In this one I don't want the description, so let's hide that. And what we're going to say here is thank you, let's get your course started. Again, you don't have the option to change, or actually in this case looks like you can change the messenger text. So let's click here to get started, and then you can change the background. Let's go back to our original background. Button background I wanted blue, headline I wanted the dark blue, and button text can be white. Perfect. If you had another image to upload here, you could do that. I'm going to leave that blank. And then on the next step, now this is where you are telling Manychat what should be the message that they receive as soon as someone subscribes to this bot. So we're going to change this message. This is what it's showing us right now. It's going to say this: the next post is coming soon, stay tuned. I don't want this. This is the standard message that Manychat gives you. Let's change it up. So I'm going to hit edit. Oh, actually I don't want to lose any changes, so let's hit save. So our changes so far have been saved. So now let's hit edit, and you can see up here it kind of gives you a good track of where you are. You are in growth tools, you're on the page takeover growth tool, and now you're on the opt-in message and you're editing the opt-in message. So it's just a good reminder of where you are at, because again, as I had mentioned in the previous video, it's easy to get lost when there's so many different levels to go through. So let's look at the opt-in message. I'm going to say welcome first name. To get this first name here, simply click on the little guy right here, and then you can select their first name, last name, full name, and page name. And this is a custom field, so I had created a custom field called time of day. uh, I haven't used it, so you can create custom fields in here in settings. I believe we can go over that. So I'm going to put welcome and thank you for choosing the wedding planner. Again, this is my other course that I have on Udemy or on how to use Trello for project management, and that's the website I'm going to use because that's hosted on WordPress, and the course itself is hosted on Teachable, and I can mess with that site because right now I'm not sending any traffic to that landing page, so it's kind of like a ghost site. It doesn't exist. So thank you for choosing a wedding planner. You will receive your first lesson tomorrow. And then we'll leave this message here. PS, if you want to unsubscribe, just type stop. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Let's hit publish, which means it's just going to publish this message, not the entire growth tool, because we have not activated it yet. So let's go back to the opt-in message. That's what it looks like. Perfect. Now I'm back at where I started. So I took care of the initial state, the submitted state. Now the next step was the opt-in action. We changed the message here. You can see on the right here what the message looks like. And then the final step is to add the subscriber to a sequence. So that's once someone is subscribing to the chatbot, we want to mention which sequence we want them to be subscribed to. In our case, we're going to use the demo sequence. So they'll receive this first message right here as soon as they subscribe saying thank you for signing up for this course. You'll receive your first lesson tomorrow, and then we are telling Manychat, okay, now take this subscriber and add them to this sequence. And then finally, we need to install the JavaScript snippet, and then here you can see a few settings here. And don't get nervous, this is very easy. If you are not good with code, just look at the help text on any of these websites, whether it's WordPress or Udemy. I don't know, I don't think Udemy you can. Teachable, Thinkific, they all have easy to do setup guides. And if you're part of any of their Facebook group, just ask someone for help. I'm sure there are tons of people who can do it for no cost. Reach out to me. If I'm able to help you, I'll be more than happy to. Now, if you do have a web developer, you can send them this code and they'll know exactly what to do. So here you also have a few more options. You can hide it on certain pages that you don't want it to show. Otherwise, it'll show across your entire URL. So if it's so my URL is theweddingplanner.com. If I have it there, then it'll show up on weddingplanner.com/subdomain, any of your subdomains that you're using. And then you can also do only show on these pages. So one or these two, you can fill in those URLs, and you can say hide on mobile device, which I am not going to do because that kind of defeat the purpose. Messenger is a mobile native app, and I want to make sure that people who are coming to my website are then driven to this app. They already are signed to Facebook Messenger. 1.2 billion people use it every month. So why are we not going to show it on mobile devices? So I'll leave that checked, and then let's install the JavaScript snippet here. Now at this stage, it's asking, Manychat lets you know, okay, please put in your website name here so that it's whitelisted, because sometimes it's because this is a pop-up, your own domain might blacklist this website, Manychat, if you don't whitelist it. So I'm just going to type in here my domain name. So this is, I always do the HTTP and then also without the HTTP. And if you have a SSL certificate, like a secure site, then you would do HTTPS and then you'll put in the rest of it. So let's add this. Now we've added the two, one with HTTP, one without. And next I'll get my code right here, and I'm going to copy this. And Manychat tells you where to put it. So it's saying place it into the head of every page of your website. Now, if you have Google Tag Manager, you can use Google Tag Manager to do this, and that way you won't have to go in the back end of your website. I know a lot of bigger companies use Google Tag Manager because they don't want to wait for their web team to install small pieces of code. I use Google Tag Manager, but we are not going to get into that because that's a whole another topic. It's not the easiest thing to learn, and I don't want to bog you down with the nitty gritty of all these different tools. We want to stay on course here, which is delivering a great product to our subscribers. So we have the code copied on my clipboard. Now let's go into my WordPress website and install it. So I'm going to open a new tab here, and let's see where it is. So I have it right here. I believe this is the one. Yep. So this is the part where I'm going into the landing into my WordPress console, and I will have more videos teaching you how to use WordPress if that's what you want to use for your landing pages, and also for your course delivery, because there is a plugin called Member Mouse that you can use to gate your content, and we'll get into that in the coming videos. Let's stay focused to what we are here to do, which is installing the code. So my landing page here is, let's see if I can find, so it's this one right here, home, which says front page. This is the landing page for my Trello course, which is geared towards people who are getting married. They want to plan their wedding, and they can use Trello to do that. Feel free to take it if you want to learn Trello. I showed you the basics of how to use Trello, and it's not just related to weddings, but that's just the niche that I picked. So once this loads, and if you are using WordPress, your backend might look a little different depending on the theme you're using. I'm using Thrive themes, so all of Thrive products, which is Thrive themes, Thrive leads, Thrive ultimatum, Thrive apprentice, all of those. So that kind of makes it easy for me to just learn that one piece of software and use it everywhere across all my WordPress sites. Okay, so the site has loaded. Now what I'm going to do is I want to install that piece of code, which I believe goes, actually I might be in the wrong place to do that. Let me go back here, go to Thrive dashboard, and theme options. This is the theme we're using, Ignition, and I'm going to go to analytics and scripts, and in the header is where Manychat has asked us to paste this piece of code, so I have put it in the header here. I'm going to save all changes, and at this point I think we're done. Let's see if it works. So I do like to, let's see, alright, let me edit this page, update it just to be on the safe side. I don't think we need to do that, and copy the URL, open it in a new Incognito window, paste it, and let's see if the growth tool shows up. Okay, it didn't show up. I think I might not have activated it in Manychat. Let me do check on that. Yep, I did not activate it here. So let's save this, and that was a good practice session here. So make sure your widget is active. Now if I go back to growth tools, it should show me the two tools. One is this top bar that we already looked at, and one is this one, which is still showing as draft. So you have to click this little gear icon and hit publish, and now the widget is activated. Now let's try this one more time. Let me go to the website again, and sometimes it might take a little time to hit your live version because of whatever it is that's happening in the background in the webosphere, where different tools are trying to connect with each other and make this magic happen. So I'm going to refresh this and see if that works. And just to be on the safe side, I'm also going to put it in here. In WordPress, at the bottom of my page, I have this custom code area. I'm going to put it in the header script here as well. And let's save this. I guess I don't have a save button, so I'll just hit update. And let's see if that works. I am going to minimize you, Yoast, and look at the custom code again one more time just to make sure. Alright, I do see Manychat still in here, so we should be good. And let's try it one more time, see if this works. Copy the URL, paste it, and see what happens. Boom! Looks like it worked. So you have the full page takeover where the Manychat widget has taken over your entire page. I do see the little X right here in the top right corner. So if your landing page visitors do not want to take this action, they can simply close it out, and then we have set the rules to not show up again till 1 day later. And then if they do click send to messenger, they will be prompted to put in their username and password. Once they do, let me put that in and see what happens. Apparently I require a two-factor authentication, so I will be back once I've put that in. Alright, so the code is in. Now let's continue, and now it should show me once I click on submitted. Now this is the submitted state. Remember, we had the initial state when the user sees this page takeover, and once they click the send to messenger button, this is the thank you state that they see, which would kind of be like your thank you page. If you have a landing page, you have a lead magnet that's going to a thank you page, and that's what they see. And then now if I click on let's get started, it's going to open messenger, and it's going to show me the welcome message and then also subscribe me to the sequence. So let's see, where exactly is it? Okay, here it is. Thank you for sorry, I was lost for a second. Thank you for choosing the wedding planner. You'll receive your first lesson tomorrow. PS, if you ever want to unsubscribe, please type stop. And then this is where the sequence takes over. So we have the sequence to go out immediately, and then a second message to go out a minute later, which is this one right here. And then we can click on yes or no. That will take the action that you have set up on the back end of your bot. So let's go and create a new sequence for this course that we have added to our page here. Let's close this out, and let's go back to growth tools. So in the growth tool, I have an option that once someone's opt into this growth tool, subscribe them to the demo sequence. So let's go into the demo sequence and see if we can tweak it a bit. Let's go to automation is where your sequences would be. So you'd go to sequences, you're going to the demo sequence, and then here, as you can see, we have this set that the first message should go out immediately after a user subscribes. Then the next one should go out a minute later, then 20 minutes, 1 hour, and 3 days. I'm going to change this to immediately, a minute, then another minute, then another minute, and then finally another minute. Now, because this is not your typical email autoresponder, you don't have the branch logic options. So where I can see that being a little restrictive is you can only set this time delay based on the previous message. So if I am saying send the next message 5 minutes later, it's only going to look at the one before it and not looking at any other messages. So it's going to say, okay, the previous message was sent XYZ time, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and then send the next message. But it's always looking at your previous message to know when the next one to send. I hope that makes sense. So we're going to change this back again to 1 minute, and let's set a lesson up. So let's set up a sequence where we're delivering the first lesson on day 1, then we'll send a feedback message, and I'm actually going to write this up. The best way to do this is, I have found Google Docs to be the best to map it out, because you have that Excel file, or if you have like just good old Excel on your computer, you can do that. So Google Sheets, I'm going to create a new spreadsheet, and I'm going to call this, let's call this the same name as our sequence, which is the demo course sequence. And then what's going to happen on day 1 is we're going to send them a message saying for signing up, here's your first lesson. And then here I just put in the so this is how I would do it. Day 1, what's the message, what's the link? Then day 2, what's the message and what's the link, and so on and so forth. So this will help you map it out instead of having it all in your head and then not being able to see it in front of you. Again, go back to pen and paper if that works for you. Use a whiteboard. This works for me, so I'm going to continue using it. And let's go back to our sequence here. So we have the day 1. Here's the message, and at this point they've already received the unsubscribe notice once, so I don't want to say that same thing over and over again, so I'm going to delete this. I actually have to edit the message here, delete this part, and then here we go. I'm going to delete these buttons that we had created in the previous video. And what I want to do here is I want to add a video. Now anything less than 25 MB you should be able to upload it right away. If it's more than 25, then if it's more than 25 MB you might have to provide them with a link. So what I have noticed works best is uploading it to YouTube and putting a YouTube link in here and keeping your video unlisted, versus uploading it to Vimeo or any of those other hosting services. Because what happens is YouTube is another one of those native apps that everyone has on their phone. So when you upload a video to YouTube and provide a link, all they have to do is click and it'll most likely open straight in the app. So you're not creating that friction of a user having to download another app or leaving Facebook Messenger to go to Chrome or anywhere else to play the video. It's a good idea to kind of keep that in mind when you're working with bots, is what kind of apps do your users have on their phone? Will they be able to see this, or will they need to take an additional action to see what you're trying to show them, what you're trying to share with them? So for example, if it's a Google Drive link, will they need to have Google Drive on their device? If it's a PDF, make sure the PDF link opens right on the device. So test all of this with your own device before you start broadcasting to the world. Always a good idea. So the video is now uploading, and I have so that's my intro. So I also want to put in a link in here, and I'm actually going to say, let's do a card. And what that card is, in a card you can have a title, a subtitle, and a URL and an image. So I'm going to first drop an image, and I'm going to say lesson 1, how to create a Trello board. And then once they click on this, where do I want them to land? So I'm going to go to YouTube, creating a Trello board, getting started with Trello sounds good. I'm going to copy this link and then just paste it here. Done. And then if you want to add a subtitle, you can do this too. This in this lesson we will cover Trello boards and how to create plus manage your Trello board. Oh, it looks like I went over my character limit. So in some of these messages within Manychat have a character limit, and you can see here I'm -7 on my character limit for a card description. How to create plus manage them. And my favorite, smiley faces. We gotta add those. And let's find this little cat right here. I don't know why the image is not showing up. Let me try a different image. By the way, this website right here, Pexels, is a great website for stock images. So any stock images that you're looking for free, just go to pexels.com. That's PEXELS.com, and you'll be able to download them for free. So here's how it's going to look like on the user's end. They'll get the card with the kind of like the title underneath the card, and then also the subtitle, if you will. And then you could add a button here if you wanted to. Another way I'm doing this now is I'm actually sending it in a way like this. So I put a text message here. Here's your video lesson, and then I put this button here, start lesson, put a little play logo here. So it's kind of, you know, universal. People know play means a video is about to play, and then I put open a website, and then I put the URL here, and this way they can start the lesson right here. So there are a few ways you can deliver this. If you have, I have seen this done in mostly restaurant menus, because restaurants are adopting Manychat or chatbots as well, where they can give you a gallery, right? And this could apply to your course too. Maybe you have 5 lessons that are going out at the same time, so you could click on gallery, and what that lets you do is you can add more than one. So there's 3 different options here, and then you can keep adding more options. I can add 4, 5. I don't know how far this goes, but it goes pretty far. So you I guess that's where it ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can have 10 different cards, and your users can literally swipe through each and every one of them on their phone, which, as you can see, is very interactive, right? And that's the beauty of Manychat or any of these chatbot tools. You can make it so interactive for your users. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. Let's get rid of them. Again, feel free to play with all of these options down here. They are very self-explanatory. If you add an image here, you can just drop an image. The card we just did, gallery we just did. List is kind of a smaller version, whereas instead of scrolling left to right, they're just looking at it top to bottom or bottom to top. And you can just keep adding these elements here. It looks like in this case you can add up to 4. So we're going to get rid of this altogether. And one thing I don't like is because Manychat is auto-saving everything. Once I hit this X, there's no like, hey, are you sure you want to delete this? And I've had those situations where I've just deleted stuff because I was click happy. So be careful with that. And I think we're ready here. I'm going to hit publish. So day 1 is all set. Day 2, we want to ask for feedback. And maybe the feedback is actually going to a Google form or to specific URL, and I have just the URL ready. So let's see if I can find that URL. Wow, you could have a Google form, right? A feedback form ready for your subscribers, and you want to ask them how did everything go, or you can just simply set it up in Manychat. So you can say, actually, let's set that up in Manychat. Let's use this tool to its fullest capabilities. So this is what the next message is going to say. I'm going to say it's going to be feedback for day 1, lesson 1. And then we're going to say, hey, first name, what did you think of lesson 1? And then we're going to say, give them the option. I'm actually going to remove these buttons and give them a quick reply option saying, loved it, and another quick reply option saying, it was okay. We go back to loved it, add a little emoji, go back to this, add my emoji. And so how this looks is, you can see on the right side of the screen, this is what it would look like. They would get the message either loved it or it was okay, and then what's the response in here. If they click on yes, I loved it, then you want to reply back with a message saying cool, emoji. Now here's where I kind of use my cell phone when I'm creating these messages, because if you are an iPhone user, when you type a message and you type a keyword, sometimes it shows you what that emoji should look like. And I kind of just mimic that because I want this to be as close to an experience on their cell phones as possible. Even though I'm creating it on desktop, it's going to be delivered on cell phone. So it's kind of hard to do that without knowing what that output is going to look like. So I'm going to say cool, thank you for your feedback. Lesson 2 is coming out tomorrow. Talk to you then. Perfect. And then if they say no, it was okay, then I want to reply back with sorry to hear. Could you tell me how we can improve it for next time? Again, I'm going to add your sorry face right here, and that should do it. So feedback, let's hit publish, and let's go back to our sequence here. I'm going to delete the rest. I'm just going to leave it at 2 levels right now, but you get the idea of how you can keep adding as many messages in this sequence as you want. So you can just keep hitting message, 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 and every time you hit the plus sign, it'll keep adding the next layer. So we are again going to get rid of that. And Manychat does not have a save button, so as you're doing it, it's automatically saving things for you. And then on the settings feature, you can limit sending during day and time of the week, because again, because this is being delivered on the cell phone, we have to be cognizant. Unlike email, most cell phones have the alert as soon as someone receives a message. So you want to remember that, do you want your users to be getting that alert message in the middle of the night? And if not, you want to make sure, one, this is all set, or two, even mention it in your messages. Hey, these messages come at random times during the week. Please make sure, we try to make sure that it's only between this time and this time, but if you have a time preference, let us know, and then you can tag those users accordingly. So I don't like to send messages on the weekend. We're going to keep it on Monday through Friday, and I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt that they don't wake up early. So let's do 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now this is local standard time. Whatever time zone your subscribers are in, this is how it will get delivered to them. once you hit save, that's all set. Go back to content and we're done. So now what we can do is test this out. So let's go back incognito. Let's go to the wedding planner website. We'll wait for it to load, and that screen takeover should happen as soon as the site loads. And then we're going to say okay, sounds good, send to messenger. I'm going to have to log in here again. Give me one moment, I'll be back. Okay, we are back. So click here to get started. It's going to open up in messenger and we'll see how the sequence plays out. So I should get a welcome message, and I'll get the first message in the sequence, and then a minute later I'll get the second message in the sequence. So here's the welcome message right here. Thank you for choosing the wedding planner. You'll receive your first lesson tomorrow. Feel free to reply back with stop if you want to unsubscribe. Now, how this works is if they type back stop, they will get a confirmation saying, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And at that point, they will hit the yes button and they will be unsubscribed uh, from your dashboard or from your contacts, so to say, as would be the case when you send someone an email and they get unsubscribed. So that's how that works. Uh, Feel free to test all of this, right? Have it sent to your cell phone, test it on your cell phone, make sure all of this is working before you hit that go live button, because once you're live, you don't want to start messing up and have people unsubscribe because your sequence wasn't ready or it was kind of messed up in between. Keep all of that in mind. Let me, while we're waiting for the next message to come here, let me show you something else in here. So what I want to show you is this is the content section. I had mentioned earlier that there is no button like a save button. So once you're in here, if you delete something, it's hard to get it back. One thing you can do is if you hit something by error and you didn't mean to do that, instead of hitting publish, you can hit these little three dots and say revert to published, which means it's just going to undo that last step. So we're going to say yes, I'm going to confirm, and there it is, it comes back. So that's one way to do it. If you do end up deleting something by mistake, just hit revert to published and you'll be good. Let me go back here and see if we have received the sequence. I don't think I'm going to receive it because I'm already subscribed to this bot. So you might want to test it out again on your cell phone once you have set up the sequence. And let's go back to the growth tools here. So what we discussed today was the growth tool, which is this one right here, which was our page takeover growth tool. Now there are a bunch of other growth tools that we're going to go through in the coming few days and weeks. The one in particular that I love the most is the landing page. It kind of gives you the ability to have a landing page right on. You can build it on WordPress, and then that landing page will be what people see, which works really great because it's already mobile optimized. It's just one small page that is meant to send users to Messenger. So I love that feature, and we're going to go over that. Maybe I'll set that up in the next video to show you what that looks like. But this is just a quick overview of what that looks like. It's almost similar to having the page takeover growth tool, so we'll go over that in the coming days and weeks. And that's it for the growth tool part, guys. Thank you again for watching this video, and thank you for subscribing to the course creator handbook. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me up, send me an email, or mention it in the comment below. Thank you and have a great day.